This is a story of Ulf and Siggie, twin children who live in the faraway country of Austria, in Europe. They've started school and were given their first homework assignment. They have to learn as much as they can about the United States of America. That's where you live.
Luckily, Ulf and Siggie know about the library, where they found a book about the United States of America.
So Ulf, check this out. It's a book that teaches you about all of the states in the United States. It teaches you about big important cities in each state called capitals.
I know, Siggie. I'm actually smarter than you think I am, and I can read.
Well, that's your opinion, and you're welcome to it. Anyway, the cool thing about this book is that there are friends in the book who will take us on a journey through different parts of the United States.
Yes, it's true. There's Willie, who lives in the West, and there's Susie, who lives in the South.
Yeah, and there's Normie from the North, and Mickey from the Midwest.
And finally, Ellie from the East.
Ulf and Siggie were so excited to learn about the United States that they decided to go to visit their American relatives, Auntie Ellen and Uncle Ken.
Ulf and Siggie traveled all the way across the Atlantic Ocean from Europe to the United States.
We are Auntie Ellen
And Uncle Ken.
and we're Ulf and Siggie's American hosts. We'll be taking care of Ulf and Siggie while they're here, as well as disciplining them when they need it.
So let's join Ulf and Siggie as they join their new friends from the book and learn all about the United States. Hi, Ulf. Hi, Siggie. Welcome to the United States.
Thank you.
So how can we help you?
Well, our teacher said that we have to write poems about the United States and each individual state.
That sounds like fun. We'll tell you all about the people and the towns.
Don't forget the crops, mountains, rivers, products, state birds, flowers.
And all sorts of interesting facts, and the coolest thing of all, we're going to introduce you to a friend of ours in each state, and that friend has the same name as the capital of that state. Like my friend Austin in Texas.
Or my friend Helena in Montana. I have a great idea for the first poem.
Yeah, what is it?
And here is Ulf's introductory poem. Exploring Ellie and Wandering Willie travel to places both warm and chilly. For Normie and Susie, there's water and sand, while Meandering Mickey tours the heartland. The 5 boys and girls visit friends and mates named after the capital of each of the states.
All right. And how many states are in the United States?
There's 50.
I'm very excited for this part of our trip, Siggie. We're going to be going to all sorts of very different states where we'll have oceans and beaches and mountains and snow and hot and cold temperatures and so many different animals and plants and all kinds of very differently dressed people.
Yeah, that's true. And most importantly, Willie is still our tour guide.
I had a feeling you might mention that.
Yeah, whatever. Anyway, on the last show, Willie taught us all about the very interesting and beautiful Rocky Mountain states. Today, he's going to lead us around another part of the western United States, the Pacific Coast and the northwestern states. But first, here's my introductory poem to the western United States from the last show.
Willie will serve as guide and host from the Rocky Mountains to the western coast. In Hawaii and Alaska, he'll take a quick rest, and then he's off to the Pacific Northwest.
Willie, hello Willie. Can you teach us all of your incredible knowledge on the far western United States now?
Okay, Siggie. Hi again, Ulf.
Also say hi to the millions of people in the TV audience, Willie.
Hi, audience.
After the show, we really ought to, all of us pose for a group picture together. Well, all of us, that is, except for Ulf. Oh, and your friends in each state. And anyone else besides you and me, Willie.
Hi, my name is Mason. I'm from Lowell, Massachusetts.
Do you know what the name of the country to the north of the United States is called?
Canada.
That's right. Anyway, the far western U.S. can be divided in many ways, but I like to think of it as the Pacific Coast states of California, Hawaii, and Alaska, and then the northwestern Pacific states of Washington, Oregon, and Idaho. Like the Rocky Mountain states we saw last time, many of these states are really big. But not only that, 2 of the states, the islands of Hawaii and the big state of Alaska, are so far away that to visit them, we'll have to take a plane, or maybe a boat.
Do you mean like a romantic pleasure cruise? Hey, Wolf, is it just me or does Willie seem to be in an especially good mood today?
My name is Precious and I live in Lowell, Massachusetts.
Do you know what the capital of California is?
Sacramento.
That's right.
Moving right along to our first Pacific Coast state, California. It's the third biggest state in our country, right after Alaska and Texas, which you'll be learning about later. My good friend Sacramento, who is named after California's capital, lives here. At least I hope we're still good friends. Old Sacramento's a rising movie star these days, and she may not have time for us little people, ha ha ha.
Hi, Willie. You know you never have to worry. We'll always be good friends. Besides, it looks like you're now kind of getting into the showbiz field too, huh?
Ha ha. I'm just helping my friends here, Ulf and Siggie, who aren't from the United States, to learn all about America for their school project. So tell us about California.
Well, we're called the Golden State because of all the gold discovered back in the 1800s. We've got lots of people living here and lots of cool cities, like Los Angeles, which is our biggest city. It's right near Hollywood, where many of the celebrities live and work. I know what you're thinking, Willie, but I'm not there yet. Anyway, other great towns in California are San Diego and Bakersfield, San Jose, and San Francisco.
And a lot of these places are right on the coast of the Pacific Ocean. Man, I'd love to get a look at some sunny beaches.
Sure, and we've got some lovely mountains too. We produce lots of oil and cattle, and even grapes for our famous wines.
Now what's that really, really tall tree over there called?
That's our state tree, the redwood, and our state bird is the California Valley quail.
Wow, so much to see. By the way, Sacramento, do you know of a good gift shop? I want to buy a souvenir for a friend of mine.
A friend, huh? Sure I do. Let's go.
Did you hear that? He's buying a present for a friend.
I heard, Siggie, I heard. Anyway, here's my poem about California and Sacramento.
Ulf's poem about California. Sacramento is so grand, a rising movie star. Her beauty and ability have gotten her quite far. All her fans in Bakersfield, as well as San Jose, follow her from Hollywood to San Francisco Bay.
Hey, maybe Sacramento might have some movie audition connections for me. Anyway, nice job, Ulf.
Oh, thanks. I really
Now
worked
let's introduce Willie again. Hi, Willie. I hope that you found a nice and hopefully expensive a souvenir for your a friend. I hear that you're on a plane to the next state.
Yup. We've got to cross a lot of the Pacific Ocean to get to the next state. You know, the Pacific's the world's largest ocean, and it contains many, many islands, like the 8 main islands that make up the state of Hawaii. The islands are called Hawaii, the biggest, plus Maui, Molokai, Oahu, Kauai, Niihau, Lanai, and Kaho'olawe. The capital and biggest city is Honolulu, and that also happens to be the name of my friend who's meeting me. Well, we're here. Hey, and there she is.
Aloha, Willie.
Aloha, Honolulu. Hey, Wolf and Siggie, in case you didn't know, aloha is Hawaiian for hello.
It also means peace or goodbye as well, Willie. Hawaii is actually called the Aloha State.
Well, what are you eating there? That looks good.
These are macadamia nuts. Have some. We produce lots of them in Hawaii. And later, when you visit my house, you get to see all the sugar cane that my parents grow. There are many cities and towns in Hawaii, but we live out in the country. You'll love our thatch-roofed hut. Simple but cozy.
Well, what other kinds of stuff do you guys produce here in Hawaii?
We also grow delicious pineapples, and we make famous glass, clay, and stone products.
Hey, what's that cool tree over there called?
That's our state tree, the candle nut. By the way, our state bird is the nene. And look, there's one now. Hey, let's go for a hike. I'd love to show you Mauna Kea. And this is one of the tallest mountains in the world, just so you know, from the very bottom, way under the ocean, all the way to the top.
Cool. Hey, you know how you mentioned pottery before? I'm trying to collect some neat presents from lots of states for a special friend of mine.
Okay, I know a great gift shop on the way to Mauna Kea. Let's go.
Another present for a friend. I can't wait.
Siggie, are you sure you should be assuming that these are for you? I mean...
Quiet, Ulf. Here's my poem about Hawaii.
Siggie's poem about Hawaii. Honolulu munches on a macadamia nut, sitting in the middle of a quiet thatch-roofed hut. She climbs up Mauna Kea and stares into its crater. and holds a piece of sugar cane she plans to eat much later. That part about the crater is really interesting, and it's also really cool that that state is made up of islands.
Yes, and I think we're looking at straight A's here, Ulf, for our geography project. Especially my parts.
Siggie!
And I can't wait to see what gifts that Willie will be buying in the next state, Alaska. So another long plane flight for you, Willie?
Yep, Siggie. You see, Hawaii and our next state, Alaska, are not only the last two to become actual states back in the 1950s, but they're also the only two states that aren't part of the continental United States, which means they're not touching any of the rest of the states. As you know, the Hawaiian Islands are separated from the rest of the U.S. by the Pacific Ocean, while Alaska is separated from the rest of the U.S. by the big country of Canada. Anyway, it looks like I'm in Alaska now to visit my good friend Juno. Hi Juno, how's the weather?
Hi, Willie. Well, Alaska can actually be fairly warm sometimes, but right now, as usual, it's cold, at least compared to the rest of the U.S., especially Hawaii. That's why I have my heavy coat, and one for you. Now the snow's really coming down. Alaska is called the last frontier. We've got all sorts of wilderness and wildlife, like the willow ptarmigan, that's our state bird. And we're also the biggest state in the U.S. by far. We've got the tallest mountain, Mount McKinley. At the north of the state is the Arctic slope. That's a very high up piece of land.
Now what sort of products do you guys make? I mean, I know all about the oil you drill and export by the Alaskan pipeline.
We also produce lots of seafood and lumber. Speaking of which, our state tree is the Sitka spruce. And we also do lots of mining for valuable minerals, like gold.
Well, it looks like Willie's going to have to get back on an airplane to fly to the next state, Washington. I saw in our book that Washington is back in the continental United States, just south of the border of Canada.
Very good, Ulf. I'm impressed that you remember that.
Are you being sarcastic, Siggie?
No, actually, I'm in a very good mood with all the presents that Willie's been buying for his friend.
Okay. Anyway, are you almost in Washington, Willie?
Almost. And don't forget, guys, the Washington we're visiting is the state of Washington, not the city of Washington, D.C., which is the capital of the United States. We'll be visiting there later. The capital of Washington State's Olympia. And that's also the name of the friend that I'm meeting. We're here. Hi, Olympia.
Hi, Willie. How have your travels been?
Really interesting. I've seen lots of sunshine in Southern California and Hawaii, lots of snow in Alaska, and now lots of rain in Washington.
Yeah, I know. It does rain quite a lot in Washington. But my hometown of Seattle, Washington's biggest city, and the whole state are known for way more than rain. We've got one of the most beautiful states in the country, in my opinion. Seattle's on the gorgeous Puget Sound, which leads right into the Pacific Ocean. And we've got other great scenery too, like our tallest mountain, Mount Rainier.
There's lots of nice forest land too. Isn't lumber one of Washington's most important products?
Yep, and we also grow lots of wheat and potatoes and provide lots of cattle and seafood too. And we're world famous for our apples.
Hey, can you remind me what your state tree and state bird are called?
Sure. Our state bird is the willow goldfinch, and our state tree is the western hemlock. Washington is called the evergreen state.
Excuse me, Willie?
Yes, Siggie. Olympia, these are my new friends Ulf and Siggie.
Hi.
Yeah, hi. Anyway, Willie, don't forget to ask Olympia about gifts.
Oh yeah, thanks for reminding me, Siggie. Olympia, see if you can guess what gifts I got for you.
Huh?
Oh, cool. Let me see. You went to Alaska, so something gold?
Pretty good guess, Olympia. What about Hawaii?
I am so depressed. Ulf, could you please take over?
Okay. Here's my poem about Washington.
Ulf's poem about Washington. Olympia watches raindrops on the Puget Sound. The drizzle in Seattle seems to always hang around. But Mount Rainier in the distance and Pacific Coast so near are why Olympia holds her state of Washington so dear.
Good job, Ulf. I'm so upset that Willie likes someone else. You'll have to discuss the next state without me. Just talk amongst yourselves.
Willie's next visit is to Oregon, another state in the Pacific Northwest. His friend, Mama Salem, lives there.
That's right, Ulf. And here's a special surprise. Mama Salem's 2 children, Portland and Eugene, are with her. Hi, Mama Salem.
Hi, Willie. As you know, I was named after the capital of Oregon, Salem. Well, my 2 kids are named after 2 of Oregon's biggest cities, Portland and Eugene. Say hi to Willie, kids.
Hi, Willie.
We've got some really fun outdoor activities planned today. Want to come with us?
Well, sure. Where are you guys hiking to?
We're going to visit the beautiful Cascade Mountains in the west. Many of these mountains are actually volcanoes, but don't worry, I don't think they'll erupt.
That's good. Doesn't Oregon also have the Blue Mountains?
Yes, those are in the east. Later on, we want to visit the famous Crater Lake in the south. And it was also formed by a volcano thousands of years ago. And it's really interesting because it has no rivers flowing in or out.
Well, what else is Oregon known for?
Why don't you tell him, Eugene?
One of our most important products is lumber. We also raise lots of cattle and grow lots of wheat, and we're right next to the Pacific Ocean. Let's see, we're called the Beaver State because we're famous for the North American beaver. Our state bird is the western meadowlark, just like Montana and Wyoming. And our state tree is the Douglas fir. That's the most common kind of Christmas tree.
Wow, I really learned a lot in Oregon. Thanks a lot, Mama Salem. Hey, what about you, Wolf and Siggie?
Oregon was so cool. I can't wait to visit there again.
Yeah, it was nice.
Well, looks like I'll have to do 2 poems in a row. Here goes.
Wolf's Oregon poem, read for Siggie. Mama Salem walks right near a tall volcanic peak, while her children run around, playing hide and seek. To Oregon's Blue Mountains, they all will make their way, and then they go to Crater Lake to finish up their day.
I hope you're feeling better now, Siggie. What'd you think of my poem?
Your poem was fine. And you don't need to cuddle me, Ulf. I'm fine. Not going to get all hung up on some guy, even if he is smart and cute and worldly and famous.
Let's take it back to Willie for our last western state, Idaho. Back to you, Willie.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm very excited because we're going to visit my home state of Idaho, where my best buddy Boise lives. Hi, Boise. Hi, Willie. Welcome back from all your travels. Thanks. I've been helping my new friends, Wolf and Siggie, learn all about the western United States. Why don't you tell us some interesting stuff about the state of Idaho?
Well, let's see. Like a lot of western states, we got lots of pretty mountains, like the Bitterroot Range. South of the mountains is the Snake River. Idaho's got lots of incredible canyons, like the Snake River Canyon. Now, the Snake River Plains is where my family's farm is, right near the city of Twin Falls, Idaho.
Well, what kind of crops do you have on your farm?
You know.
For Wolf and Siggie and the audience.
Oh, well, we have beets and wheat, barley, and other grains, like many Idaho farmers. But our most important product is world-famous Idaho potatoes. I'm getting hungry. Many farmers also raise cattle, like a lot of the other states we've visited so far. And speaking of animals, our state bird is the mountain bluebird, and our state tree is the western white pine. Idaho is also well known for its supply of silver, and just about every precious gem known. We're called the Gem State.
Oh, that reminds me. I gotta go buy a gift for a good friend.
A gift, huh? Sure, it's something else for Olympia.
Actually, it's for you, Siggie.
What? What? Really? Wow. Wow. Silver necklace with a beautiful gem. Thanks, but what about Olympia?
Oh, you mean all those presents I got for her? Well, it was her birthday.
Oh.
Do I get a present too, Billy?
Well, of course. I got you a bag of Idaho potato chips.
Thanks. Anyway, I guess I should go ahead with the last poem for today, huh?
No, I'll do it. Thank you very much. By the way, why does Olympia get a gold chain, but I only get silver?
Siggie's poem about Idaho. Boise loves potatoes and many different grains, south of the mountains to the Snake River Plains. He passes a few canyons and gorges on the way and rests in Twin Falls, Idaho, calling it a day.
Alright, do you know where the Snake River is? That's right, it's in Idaho. And what's the capital of Idaho? And what is the capital of Alaska?
Juneau.
Correct.
Well, looks like we're out of time for today.
See you guys next time.